Hi, friends. We're here with Maria Forland, a wonderful spirit artist, amongst many other talents. I have been inspired to invite Maria to talk a little bit about herself and share her gifts with all of you. This is because when we met multiple years ago and we became friends, after I saw her in action, I was just absolutely in awe. And we happened to be in a group where she brought through my grandmother as a medium
That's right.
exercise, right? Remember that?
Yeah, I do. It was fun. So much fun, that course. Yeah.
Yeah. And she started out by taking two pieces of chalk, one in each hand, and she had an art board in front of her. She closed her eyes and she put her hands up at the top of the drawing, the paper. There was no paper, it was blank piece of paper. And with each hand separately, she started drawing a face while she was giving evidence from my grandmother in the spirit world. I knew instantly it was her. And it was so amazing because with her left hand, Maria was drawing my grandmother's face when she was 18. And with her right hand, she was drawing my grandmother's face when she was 70. And then she took and blended both of those together and came up with my grandmother at about the age of 50 was the final drawing. She just blended everything. It was just amazing. And it's funny because Carol Wendell, who was one of my teachers, always says that you find your teachers because you're drawn to their spirit guides. And Maria has amazing spirit guides working with her, those in spirit, but also not only does she have wonderful guides, but she's an amazing person herself. And I feel so blessed to know her. And I would like to welcome Maria and ask you if you could please introduce yourself.
Holy mackerel, Gretchen. That's quite a little, that's what an honor to be here. First of all, thank you so much for your time. Um, I guess what I would say that I am is first of all, a human trying to be a better person, trying to be a better spirit and trying to be a better human at the same time. But as an artist, it's a constant quest like every day to live as an artist and to be a spiritualist at the same time. But I consider myself to be in my main line of work, I'm a facialist. And so I work with faces and energy every day. And that helps me to seat myself, I think, with spirit. And it's quiet. So it's kind of a time for prayer and mediumship as well. So over the years, it just began to evolve as, it's very busy. As an esthetician, you're very busy and focused on the technical aspects, but welcoming spirit in to that treatment room changed my life. And certainly spiritualism changed my life. So I guess I would consider myself to be a helper and a coach, more than a leader of a circle. I like to do a lot of coaching with people and help them to spark up their creativity, to make a mark, whatever it is. And to paint. Available hour. Upside down, inside out, paint with my left hand, my right hand, my foot, whatever, to try to get out of my own way, I think, as we all do. So that would, I feel, would kind of sum me up. Eating cheap candy also is another pastime.
A favorite pastime for many.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious to know, when did you first become aware that you are a medium? Did you know in childhood, or what kind of experiences did you have?
I think when I was a child, I was afraid. Um, Things would appear, especially at night, and but I think also in the pace of things, I always questioned spirit, God. What are you wearing? What are you eating? What are you doing over there? Where is it? Where is there? So I was always very curious about what was going on in the other world. So I think it is part of us. The quest to understand the unseen world is just you just keep trying. I think even when you're a little kid, you wonder.
Yeah. Was there a certain point when you decided, okay, what was the turning point when you decided I need to start developing my abilities?
Oh yeah, the moment that you think every now and then, this is real, this is really happening. um, I think it was through pain, Gretchen, honestly. I think it was through the loss of my family members one by one, and the journey that I think I had with my sister helped me to really understand, going through hospice with her and um, helping others, sitting with others that were in their last stages of life. I wasn't prepared for any of that, really. But when they start telling you, lady, go tell the nurse I'm over the other side, or lady, go tell the nurse I've passed. And I tell my sister, I think that lady's already gone. And the nurses in hospice know. I mean, they're very attuned. They know. So when I would begin to kind of prompt them a little bit, they would verify with me. Thank you. We understand what you were experiencing. So I think that was really the beginning of it, to say, I think, and as my sister would provoke me even to this day to say, dig deeper. There's more to the story for you. So.
Yeah, that's really beautiful and so inspiring to know that people in spirit are able to connect through you and get that message through. That's amazing, really. I'm curious to know, once you started developing, did that change your life at all? Do you have a certain practice, or how does your work affect your life on a daily basis?
Oh, that's a good one. I think, in short, I'm very fortunate to live a very quiet, peaceful life. So when I began my quest with spiritualism, it altered my perception of everything I did. We say we start with a prayer and we live with the prayer, and throughout the day, if we can hold on to that, the world becomes a magical place, one moment at a time. It's when we get off the track that things go south and worry becomes a predominant part of my head anyway. So that's part of my healing, and to discipline my mind to come back to a real point of prayer. So I guess, is that a good answer to your question? Oh, you're muted, dear. Oh, there you
Yes,
go.
absolutely. And because having a quiet life is definitely, I think, conducive to working as a medium, but it probably quiets your life too, as a side effect, I would say. And since you're in the quiet and you live a quiet life, are you aware of guides around do you have guides who work with you when you're working, different guides, or is it maybe more like an energy?
I always believed in angels. I just wasn't sure about the guides. I just would call them angels. But through various courses, through Arthur Finley in England, through some of our local phenomenal American mediums, they have helped to support this unfolding of what these energies are, to label them, because the muse is so abstract that if I put a name to it, it becomes real for my heart. So yes, I do. I feel that I work with a team, and I have one that I truly rely on for spirit art. Um, and that's a lot of petitioning. Oh, please help me before a church service or a demonstration or a reading or just waking up, I think. But when I'm working on my paintings, it seems that there's a team
Okay.
that if I'm working with a specific color, sometimes they will literally knock the brush out of my hand, just like, oh, no more yellow, too much yellow. And then I'll notice that my whole entire elbow is in blue paint. So where did the blue come from? I don't know. I didn't even, or my foot or whatever. So they guide me in strange ways, but I've learned to have a good sense of humor because you just can't go into any of it thinking that it's going to be one way, because it never is. You just have to let yourself free fall, I guess is a good term.
Yeah. Well, I know you do at least two different types of artwork, many types really, but there's one where the artwork that's kind of behind you that has a lot of spiritual symbolism, a lot of angels and that sort of thing. And I know that you're very dedicated and talented with that. And I'm looking forward to when you have an art show, hopefully soon.
Coming soon. Gonna do some prints and have some canvas prints and paper prints. And yeah, I'm just wrapping up that area. Yeah.
Yeah, and also I've experienced firsthand your spirit art, and it's really just incredible to see you just link in with spirit and just go. I just can't even, it's phenomenal. And I was wondering, how do you prepare for, I know you said petitioning, but is there a particular way that you prepare, and what does that feel like when you're linking?
To prepare, sometimes I have to be really quiet and play very soft music. I think it depends on my state of mind. And sometimes I play something very, upbeat and loud and radical, and I've got to jump around and dance around and then feel some calm. I think is the most important thing for me, is just a sense of, I don't know, people have described it as stepping out of the way. That's abstract to me. I feel that I just go, okay, here I go, just do what I'm supposed to do, take this the way it is and do my best to get out of the way. But there's a little more to it. I think it's feeling that sensation of, I want to say the earth goes, there's a feeling in my head that allows me to say, oh, okay, you're here. So sometimes I look at the paper and some marks will appear that will help me follow the lead that they have given me. And yet other times they tell me to just close your eyes and just shut your mouth until I'm done. I guess, I mean, they're much kinder than that, but you know what I'm saying. To allow me to get my attention and slow my mind down. So really, I think there are so many factors that are involved: myself, the atmosphere, the person that's waiting to be drawn, and also the recipient, because sometimes they're not ready, or they're distracted, or they need something louder or funny or serious or thought-provoking. And I think that can be done in a mark or with color as well. So there are a number of dimensions, I think, that go along with it. So um, I guess that would be my answer.
Yeah, I do feel that spirit is so strong with you when you're working. And I've observed you literally close your eyes and just start drawing.
Pushing it.
I love seeing when some occasionally I know you post or you'll share with me pictures of people in the spirit world who will sit for portraits for you. Whether or not they're going to be recognized, they'll just allow you to draw them. And I was wondering, what does it feel like to like draw one spirit and then be communicating with a different spirit and bringing them both through at the same time? Because I've seen you do that also. And I was wondering, is like, how do you do that?
I am not really sure. Uh, I think that people that say they know are incredible. Um, but I guess it's trying to find my way through the experience,
Mhm.
for lack of a better way to say it. If someone, and I also state that now, if I'm drawing a living person, or if you understand the drawing, but not the evidence, let's separate them. And sometimes the evidence is for a completely different person. Um, as we become more aware, perhaps, or as they work with me in different ways to reach a multitude of people, because sometimes I still feel that one drawing for that beloved is not enough to help people understand what's on the other side. So if it's a story that goes along with it, that will touch someone, and sometimes the evidence comes through clearly. I hear or I feel it more than anything that it's for everyone. And then you find out that the person was a teacher or a speaker or had command of a large corporation, and it would be time for them to speak their piece about their philosophy, for instance. And you're muted. Oh, there you go.
How did you learn to trust what you're getting? Is it just through practice? And do you also, as a teacher of spirit art and mediumship, are you inspired by spirit teachers as well?
Yes. um, I'm trying to find the best way to, I don't consider myself to be a teacher, Gretchen. I do consider myself to be a cheerleader and a coach. I think the biggest thing for me is, and I think with most artists, we're terribly insecure. We produce something that we don't really understand because the muse is igniting us in some way. And, and then to hear feedback or misunderstanding, or I don't want to put it that way either. I think that it's imperative that we unfold our own insecurities and wrap them up and throw them in the trash. And for anyone to say that they are not an artist, it would be such a mistake, because everything around us has been created by some wonderful person that had wherewithal and gumption to do what they do. We're sitting on things, we're drinking from things, we're admiring a table. So the long and the short of it is putting ourselves in order. And that would be the best thing I could say that keeps me striving to be better, getting out of my own way and putting down the insecurities or putting down the doubts of what can you possibly do with color. It can be overwhelming to some that, you see a box of paints and, oh no, I don't want to do that. But when you start messing around, there's no child alive that hasn't jumped right in and started right on the wall if they have nothing else to paint with. So when we lose that, why? I don't know. So I think restoring that situation, that support environment of peace and being seen and heard and helping people to be brave. I think that's what really gets me going. When I see people just getting latched onto something and it changes their life just because they've made a little drawing that has
Yeah.
pleased them.
Well, I know firsthand that you are very supportive, that you are very giving, in sharing what you know. And um, sharing what you've learned and helping others to find their own methods of artwork and conveying what they're experiencing onto the canvas or a piece of paper. Um, and I know a lot of people have approached you about learning what you know, and it's hard, I know, realize to sometimes to convey that. And so, but I do appreciate that you create an environment for people to find their inner muse or their inner artist. So, where can people, is there, I know you're on Facebook. So, at the end, actually, I think we'll probably post a link to how people can get in touch with you.
Thank you.
If you could maybe share a little bit about what it is that you organize is in the way of circles, in the way of teaching, and also what is it like to get a reading from you? Does that include a facial, or does that include a piece of art, or a drawing of a loved one? Maybe you could kind of go into that a little bit so people can kind of know how they can connect with you.
Sure. I built my business with the facials word of mouth. I've always assumed that nice people can know nice people. So I have not ever put out a formal much of anything. And my circle grew the same way. My classes, what I call my play shops, they grew the same way. Initially, many, many years ago, it was a group of non-mediums that were looking for creative expression or reducing stress or helping through traumatic experiences. And without really having a lot of experience in schooling for psychology and whatnot, it was more of an intuitive dig deep and find the color. So word of mouth has been my best advocate so far, but I do realize now that there's a turning point, and I know that Zoom and certainly our pandemic changed everything, because I was holding them at the office in my little classroom, and then Zoom came along, and that's been an uphill climb, but it's been a godsend and has connected me to many different people from all over the world, which I feel so blessed to know. And I'm developing a website. My old website was just for prints and my cards and a little booklet that I wrote, but I'm putting together some new things. So through Facebook, I think you could reach me. When I have a facial with someone, oftentimes their loved ones will come through and give messages. And when I'm doing a reading, of course, they wouldn't get a drawing during a facial, but they do get reflexology, so they leave much happier. But when I'm doing a private reading, they would decide, gee, I'd like you to draw. Certainly on Zoom, I send them the piece that I've been doing with them. And sometimes if it's in the office, I'm doodling also. And with your prompting, I don't even know how long ago you helped me to say, to write my story. So oftentimes before they show up for their reading, there's a poem or a letter written by their beloved, and that helps me also. So they carry that with them. I'll give them a voice memo or something of that nature, or of the written part of it. So, and my phone and my email, I can list that as well. That would activate, I think, a quicker response. Sometimes I lose track of Messenger on Facebook, but I try
Yeah.
to keep track.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I know firsthand, like I said, you really are very talented. You're an extremely humble person. And sometimes I just am in complete awe of you. I thank you so much for sharing yourself here today, for helping me and others to get to know you a little bit better. I know a lot of people enjoy your talks at spiritualist churches and watching you demonstrate your art and your gift of mediumship. Is there anything else about yourself or that's come to mind that you would like to maybe share with people? I know you always like to be upbeat and loving and bring humor to things. So,
I think that the best thing that was ever said to me, and I don't know if it was meant for the highest form of compliment, but someone called me Faye, and it's a term that distinguishes you to be off with the fairies. And I thought that was just the best thing that anyone could say, and what a lovely place to be. I would never want anyone to confuse my my appearing to be frivolous or off with the fae to my true quest, which is to honestly be a better human, and that takes grit and guts and determination and discipline. And I think that all of us as developing mediums must take that in first order. So I guess I'd say that's my my thank you for allowing me to express myself today, honey. It's been an honor to be with you.
well, thank you again, Maria. And, you are a great inspiration to so many people in art, in life, and as a role model. I personally feel like you're already there.
Thank you, honey. I know you are. Have a beautiful day.
You too. Thank you.
God bless, honey.